And a very warm welcome back to the Dolden Details channel. Yes, finally we are going to machine polish the Metro, the 26-year-old Rover Metro. Right, why has it taken this long to do this video? You've got all this stuff, you get sent all this stuff, Paul, you get sent compounds, you get sent pads. The only thing I don't get sent is time, and I'll be quite honest, there isn't enough hours in the day. I work weekends, I have a main job, I have another job, and another job on top of that, which is basically being a husband and running around like a blue-ass fly, and it's just a lack of time. Now, we've joined forces this week with Royal Detail, Sean. Sean has a local company to me, just down the road. He's a detailing product stockist and accessories. A lot of the products we use this week will be linked below on his website, and then some of the stuff that I've used over the past 2 or 3 years, I'm going to link as well. So it's a bit of a mixture. It's not a brand review at all. It's just a couple of guys trying to spend as much time as possible allocated in trying to get a 26-year-old car looking better. Enjoy the video. So at last we get to polish the Metro, but before all that I did a pre-wash and a 2-bucket wash, and this is the final rinse down. Seemed pretty pointless showing you those stages. You're probably going to moan about it in the comment section, but you have seen me do it so many times in videos. I thought we'll get right to the core of the matter and do the decontamination stuff. So this is just the final rinse down before we get hold of any products. This week it's Golden Bird Detail for the fallout remover or contaminant remover. Try and avoid doing this in direct sunlight. There was a brief glimpse of the sun today when I was shooting the video. So the sun only comes out, what, 3 times a year? Well, it does in Britain anyway. And all hell breaks loose when the sun comes out. So work your way around the panels. It's quite a pleasant smelling fallout remover. It doesn't smell like raw eggs, this one. More of a fragrant one. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't wear it as aftershave. So leave this on for a number of minutes to see some sort of a chemical reaction. It is incredibly difficult to see it on the panels due to the colour of the paint. Tend to do this stage before the clay stage to minimise paint marring. So give it a good thorough rinse down. Once this has been rinsed down and dried, it's on to the tar and glue remover. This is WAC Products tar and glue remover. Very effective, it's strong, and it's very, very cheap. Talking about around $17.50 for 5 litres. I will put a link at the bottom of the video as ever. Let it dwell, and then use a microfiber of your choice. So just wipe it off. Now, due to the fact this car doesn't thunder up and down the motorway, crawl up and down the motorway, I should say. The bitumen, the tar deposits were pretty minimal on the car. However, during the clay stages, you will see some residue on the clay, and I will explain what it is once we get to that stage. Clay stage, auto clay from Built Hamber. This is the clay of choice. Now the reason being is you can just use water as your lubricant. You don't have to use a quick detailer, you don't have to use soapy water. If you do use a detergent in the water when you're claying with this type of clay, I have found it degrades the clay. Those of you who have had experience of that, please put your comments in. Now, the main problem with claying an old car like this is it's got these rubber trims, and they tend to degrade quite a bit, and you will see some residue on the clay, as well as all the clear coat muck that's embedded in the clay as well. So I thought I'd give the roof a quick going over. So this was from the roof section, and there's the black from the rubber, and the rest of it is just gunk. It's just a case of working your way around the car. Each panel is quite therapeutic, this. And then it's another rinse down. This is just to get rid of any residue from the clay bar that's been left on the panels. So once we've dried the car off, it's just a case of a quick buff off. Now the main problem is with this is the car has got to be moved to a unit, and just before it goes in the unit it will be rinsed down again. So this might seem a bit pointless, buffing it off. It's just me being a bit OCD. So those are the results so far after the clay stage. The next stage is going to be a final rinse down, or another rinse down, and then a drying stage, and then we're going to tape the car up and inspect the paint. And so the car was moved to a secret location somewhere near Mexico, where the weather isn't that great. Yeah, right. And rinsed down. Now this really was a tiny amount of dirt on the car, and when I say dirt, it's more dust. I could have pre-washed this again with a snow foam, but there really wasn't any need. It was then towel dried and then air dried. And at this stage it started raining. Thank God we're going to move it indoors. So once the drying's completed, we took some paint depth readings. Interestingly enough, the roof is around 120, the bonnet around 100, and the wings 86, and I think the boot was around 70 odd. You can tell who does the wrapping, can't you? He's a damn sight faster than me, and this is with speeded up footage by quite a lot. So we opted for Cartex Final Cut. This is their one-step cutting compound, or all-in-one, with a white pad. That's their medium pad. Both using Bigfoot machines, the Mark II versions. Now I have to say, a quick disclaimer, neither of us are wearing ear protection. I urge you wear ear protection when you're doing this, but we were chatting away like a pair of old ladies. We don't get very often to talk to each other unless it's WhatsApp messages. Or shout at each other in this case. So this was IPA 50/50, deionised water and alcohol, and that's the first set of passes, or initial passes to say. And as you can see, the middle there is some swirlies. So looking better after another set of polishing. Now in between these sets, I urge you scrub your pads out, or they just get clogged up and just become useless. So there's quite a bit of speeded up footage in this. I do apologise for that, but you really don't want to see the back of my bald head for about 20 minutes, do you? So Sean was tackling the bonnet. Some pretty nasty scratches on the bonnet. He did, however, remove, I'd say, 98% of defects. There's some very, very light scratches left on that car. This door was probably the worst affected area. Now while Sean does his famous 50-50 Instagram video, boom, it was time to break out the rotary. This is the ShineMate rotary, again on a medium pad. However, this is incredibly messy. I didn't like it, but after a little bit of refining, I got some pretty good results. So that's the story so far. Now onto the Proxon polisher. This is a mini rotary. The main problem with that machine is the lead is just too short. Again, that is a Rupes pad or Rupes pad. Does have its advantages, having long arms like Mr. Tickle and being extra tall. Now this was the state of the roof. And that's it after. So more fiddly bits. Hats off to Sean. He seemed to enjoy this bit, thank God. That was a case of just refining the niggly bits, the tight areas where you can't get the big foot in. And then another IPA wipe down. And the LSP is the Hybrid Sealant from Infinity Wax Turbo 6. This should give us up to 6 months protection. You can apply it with a black pad on the machine, which Sean is doing here. After my inspection of my side before any wax went on it, any sealant, that's what I was left with. So leave for around 5 minutes and then buff off. So while Sean was buffing off his side, I was way behind because I was using the camera and tripping over leads, etc., getting in the way in general. My turn to apply the sealant. I have to say this spreads very, very well. It's really easy to use. And there's the best bit, taking the tapes off. Not bad for 26-year-old paint. Now when it comes to the trims, Alien Magic Tire and Trim. Didn't actually use this on the tyres though. I prefer it on the trims. So just apply it, allow it to dry for a bit, and then you just buff it off after. Now for the tyres, we chose Infinity Wax Tyre Coat. So a mixture of products being used this week from Sean and me. Just go to a final buff off, and this is it. These are the results. That should please the wife. Oh my God, what a difference. Now, this wasn't 100% paint correction. I have to say this right from the start. This was us trying to get the best achievable results with a single stage polish routine. Now it's an all-in-one, this compound. Yeah, there was several hits on some worse affected areas, particularly on the doors. I mean, they were badly swelled. The previous owner, you know, he was just a mechanic, before that was an old lady, and he just used super resin polish and basically covered up everything. And obviously this car's been waxed. He's had all sorts of stuff put on it through all the brand reviews over the last few years, and stripping it right back, you could really see that it was a hell of a mess, to be honest with you. And although I use the best wash techniques I can possible, sometimes when I'm rushing about doing videos and trying to get them done, there is going to be mistakes, there is going to be swells inflicted, and that, I just can't avoid that because of the speed that the videos are shot, and I'm sorry about that. But to get it back to looking how it is now, absolutely fantastic. So huge thanks to Sean for spending so much time doing this with us. We hope to do more machine polishing videos, and probably a review on the Proxon polisher, because I only showed these briefly. Now obviously the Rupes, or Rupes if you're like me and come from Essex, is a very, very capable machine, the Mark II version, and it is fantastic. If I compare that to my rotary, which I had the spot pads on, the mess that rotary makes is just unbelievable. It just, even, you know, perhaps I put a little bit too much product on, but it just flicked all up the windows, and then the IPA comes back out, and you just end up going back over yourself, and it gets a bit grabby. And it is a useful and very capable machine, and I was sort of trained on the rotary myself, but once you get hold of that Bigfoot machine, bit of a game changer for me. I probably won't go back, to be honest with you, unless I just resort to spot padding every now and again. So thanks very much for watching. There is more and more brand reviews coming, but I just really wanted to get this video done. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up, because it really does help the channel. Keep subscribing, guys. See you on the next one.